Dana Denha, and you're watching a special art fair edition of FYI. The hustle and bustle of the Ann Arbor Art Fair is near. This year, the world-renowned fair was nominated Best in the Country by USA Today 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards, celebrating collaboration, a commitment to excellence and creative freedom. Joining me is Angela Kline, Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Street Art Fair, the original. Francis Todoro, Interim Art Fair Director of the State Street District Art Fair, and Karen Delhey, Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Summer Art Fair. Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys about. I mean, this is just such a large, huge scale event, but it's so fun. I mean, as a person that lives in Ann Arbor, I really love the art fair, and I think it's just an amazing time in July to be downtown.
Good.
One,
We hope to hear that. We love that.
yeah, it's really great. Can you talk? We actually were just talking about before we started recording that you guys had like a nice little preview which showed off some of your poster designs. It had a little music, which was a great start to like the season of art, I feel.
Yeah,
It was fun.
yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah, because then now we're leading back into another kickoff party. And why don't you guys tell me about your two kickoffs that you have on July 15th?
So Dart for Art is the Ann Arbor Mile, and this is our 11th year. So we will be the start and finish line is on Fletcher and North U, but we're taking over most of North U all the way to Thayer, and we have activities. There's 10 kids activities. There's beer garden from Arbor Brew. There's food trucks, and then we're gonna have a spray park, which will be really fun. The fire department's coming out and the PD's coming out to do a button making. And so it's just going to be like a touch a truck fun thing at the end of Dart for Art that leads right into Paint to Town, which is really from State Street to Main Street. It's all kinds of goodies there as well.
And for those interested, Dart for Art is really just sort of like a mild walk if you'd like it to be.
Yes, it's a walk run. So we have the elite runners go first, and I think the fastest time was 4.8 that someone ran the mile. And if you beat that, though, you get $250, I will say.
That leads into Paint the Town, and that's a collaboration between the State Street District and the Guild, and Main Street, actually. So there will be lots of fun music activities that happen between State Street and Main Street and all along Liberty. You can find Ain't Dead Yet will be performing on Main Street. There will be a silent disco. We're going to have pickleball again. So Wolverine Pickleball will be out. We have all kinds of fun activities. David Zinn will be doing murals at both Main and Liberty and State and Liberty. So lots of fun. Restaurants will be out in the street. Some of the merchants will be as well. So come down, celebrate the community, and enjoy the kickoff to the art fair.
Can you talk about why the art fairs are so important to the community? Obviously, it means a lot to all of us, but it is like a really big revenue thing for us. But it also obviously brings creativity to the town, and it brings a lot of people to the town that might not know about the Ann Arbor, really.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. If you're a townie and the art fair is just always here and it just always happens. But I think there's three big impacts that it has. The first is the economic impact. I believe if we're not still right behind Michigan football for being one of the biggest economic impacts in the community. And that kind of trickles into your next question about people coming here that have never been here before. It really is a draw. The artists we have here are some of the best in the country. And people know that, and they'll travel here. It's well known in the art circuit that the Ann Arbor Art Fair is so exciting. It's so large. You can see so many artists in one place. So it does draw people from other areas to come here and learn about Ann Arbor. And then the other boost is that every time we have an art fair, the University of Michigan is having some kind of activity. So as a parent of a student at Michigan, I talk to a lot of parents that'll say, oh yeah, we think that was going on when we were here. It was really cool. Or yeah, my daughter bought a piece of art and we have that at home that she got one year at the fair. So to share those experiences all surrounding the art fair, it goes far beyond art and money. It really is part of Ann Arbor's cultural thread and hopefully will continue to be that.
When is this year's fair and what are the hours?
So we're July 17th through the 19th. Thursday, we run 10 to 9, as well as Friday, and Saturday is from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
What about, tips for navigating the art fair? parking, shuttle, any of that stuff that could really help people that don't live in the area?
Yeah, I think the best bet is, we have wonderful park and ride shuttles at Briarwood Mall as well as here in high school. And that drops you right off where you need to go. And it just makes things a little bit easier. And that's only $8. And kids under 5 ride for free. So that's always nice as well. And then, we have our website is just a wealth of information in terms of where to go, how to get here, how to park, maps. We have really all the information that you will need there. And then for Art Fair kickoff, really, because all the garages are open. So I think that's probably the easiest way to park for the kickoff.
There is a lot of parking in downtown Ann Arbor now. I think the myth used to be that, you couldn't find parking. But I do believe the structures, you usually are able to find space there. So if you want to come straight downtown, you can do that as well as take the shuttle. So there is a lot of parking throughout downtown Ann Arbor.
The other cool thing that I always have happen, but I'm working, but I have someone drop me off and then they go back. And then you don't have to deal with it at all if you got a nice friend that'll do that for you.
Exactly.
It's a great idea.
Do you have is there going to be like a trolley or anything like that this year, or is it just walking around?
So this year, unfortunately, we are not going to have the art go around. So we've been working with May Mobility the last few years, and they were unable to make the dates work this year. So we have not replaced that, and we're hoping next year we'll be back on track.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to have, but you can always cool off in a building if you need to. Like go shop in a business if
Oh,
you
yeah.
need to cool off for a few minutes, right? I mean,
Have a
we all
drink,
need to. Yeah.
lunch. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, totally.
exactly.
Are there going to be food vendors there this year?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll have some on the 500 block of William Street, for the State Street Art Fair. So we'll have a few there and we'll also have one of our sponsors there. So it's going to be a fun street to go. It's always breezy on that street. So it is a good street to go to cool off.
Isn't it weird how some streets are just cooler than others?
Well, and Go RVing will be there, so you can check out the cool RVs too while you're
Oh,
while you're
yeah.
there. So
They're
we do have
amazing.
a food court on State Street as well. We have Little Caesars will be there, Beyond Juice. We have several different food truck options that will be there for people, and then of course the restaurants along Main Street. We encourage people to pop in there, and I know Angela Kline has a really fun partnership with Zingerman's going. If you wanted to,
Yeah, thanks, Karen. So this is the first time I just chatted with them that all the 7 Zingerman's businesses will all be together under one roof, and that'll be on Ingalls Mall in front of the Fountain Stage. So they're very excited. Apparently the owners have been trying to put all their businesses in one section or one area at an event since the 80s, and this finally somehow it came together. So it's called the Culinary Arts Gallery and featuring Zingerman's this year. So we're very excited about that. And then we have a food court on East Washington near Thayer and a food truck that's serving lemonade and things like that on North U.
Cool. 40 years in the making with Zingerman's. Who would have thought? What about music, entertainment, things of those natures?
Our entertainment is still in flux a little bit, so we're still confirming a few things, but I know you definitely will be able to find stuff with Karen and Angela.
so we have the stage on Main, and that features the Arc. They will be providing performances in the evening starting at 6. So that will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. During the day, we will have stage takeovers with groups like the Neutral Zone and Amplify Project. So lots of fun things to check out on the stage on Main. And that's located at Main and William in the Palio parking lot.
And we are the Fountain Stage, and we're supported by 1071. This year, Scott Vertical will be our MC. One of the fun things we have in the evenings is a stage takeover by this Johnny Williams Speakeasy, the Benefit, and they'll be taking over the stage each evening after 5 p.m. And before that, we have all kinds of amazing acts that were booked by Rochelle Clark. So we're excited about that.
Cool. What about, activities for the kids? When I was thinking about the food, I was like, this is like the one thing that I feel like when I have my kids with me at events like this that are always on my back about getting food. So like having the food like open to the children's eyes is actually good because they're going to be like, get me this, get me that. But they also like want to do stuff when you take them to events like this. They want to have activities of their own.
Right. Well, we have the art activity zone, which is on at the end of Ingalls Mall by East Washington, and that's an all-age art activities, and that's hosted by the DIA, Clayworks, Potter's. Oh, well, sorry, Potter's Guild's at the other end. DIA, Be Creative, and Claywork will be there in the University of Michigan Natural History. So that's always fun. And then we have our art demo zones. Toledo Museum of Art will be doing live glass blowing 2 times a day now, each day. And as you work your way down, you'll see the Potter's Guild is doing their demonstrations as well. So yeah, I like your idea of having the food near the kids because to get my kids out of the art activity zone, I have to lure them with ice cream or food, and if they can see it, even better. Or else we're in the art activity zone for like 5 hours. You're like, oh gosh, we can't get out of here.
I don't even think my kids can hang for 5 hours without food.
Yeah.
The same block where we have the food trucks will also be the chalk mural in the street. So the kids can come and grab some chalk and color in the mural that'll be there for them. So again, it's just a nice break on a cool street.
I
And
also
we
think
have,
they
yeah.
love that too, like that they can be a part of making something bigger.
Mhm.
Like that, oh, I did that with other people. I made that part there. I think that's also like a really great thing that kids enjoy. Karen.
Most of our activities for the kids will be on Church Street this year. We are starting what's called a Kids Collectors Club. They can go in and purchase art for $10, donated by artists that will be participating in the art fair. Nice way to get them educated about buying art and collecting art. So we're really excited about that. We'll also have a kite installation project with Tiona Clemens. Doodles Academy will be on site doing a community tapestry. So they'll be doing paper weaving, which will be a big project. The Hands On Museum and Leslie Science Center will be there. So lots of fun activities. And of course, Chalk the Walk with David Zinn will be returning, and it'll be in 2 locations this year, on Liberty and then up on Church Street. So lots of fun for the kiddos.
Love the connection to Doodles Academy. My daughter did some Doodles Academy classes. That is a great organization, and it's like they're almost like miniature artists themselves, and they have an art reception, and it's actually really amazing. I think that what they do is so beneficial to the community.
So during Paint the Town, they'll be there too, doing plein air with kids. So they'll have little easels and canvases so the kids can come out, because we have plein air painters for the event itself. The kids can come do it too. So that's something fun that Doodles is doing as well. And they're a great organization.
Yeah, and I love that the art buying process because I think we've talked about this before where you guys have had your own kids buy art at the art fair. And I do think that's just, and it's also a way, it's not only a way to appreciate art, also a way to inspire your own creativity.
Agreed. Each of the artists that are donating, we're getting them to write a statement so that the kids can learn about it. We're having guest docents. You should come be a guest docent in the tent, walking the kids through and helping them select. And then the kids can write a little thank you note to the artist at the end. We have note cards for them to do that so that there's that connection between the artist and the child buying their artwork. So
I feel
it should
like
be
you
fun.
guys are creating future art fair artists and fair goers.
It's true. Yeah. Youth art fair does I joke because my son juried into the youth art fair and I tell him like you don't have to tell everyone your mom is part of this organization and anyway, you juried in entirely on your own. But so we have double the youth art fair artists this year, and what they love is that they do get to be art buyers. They get to they make money and then they walk around and they buy art from the other young people or the non-students or I think that one of them said they bought something from the professional artists, that they could afford. But the kiddos made, I think we had 38 artists in Youth Art Fair last year. They made $12,000. And so we'll have 70 artists, young artists this year. So they're on track to do quite well. And same with our NADA artists, which are the Michigan College artists. So I'm like, yes, kid, go for it.
I mean, if you can make money as a child artist, then maybe you should really do have a career in this.
I think so. My son sold out and he was so excited, but the problem was I couldn't get him to stop. I go, save some of the money. Don't spend it all on art at the art fair.
Well, I mean, he's giving back, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What about like there's always a nonprofit area, which is actually you learn a lot of stuff in that area. If you go visit the nonprofits, you can learn a lot of things.
Very
Yeah, they'll
true.
be there. But it is true. They have a great group there and they'll be back again this year. So they'll be there. That is I want to say the 400 block of Liberty.
'Cause it's usually over by Dawn Treader Bookshop, right?
No, it's actually down by Jerusalem Garden.
Good to know. Yes, because I do think that I personally like to hit up that area because I go interview people and it's nice to see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about, because we did mention the art fair preview at the beginning, which is where you're getting to see these beautiful posters that are made for each individual art fair. And I'd like each of you to talk about the artist that was chosen and this year's artwork. Who wants to start?
Oh boy. Okay, I'll start just because mine's here. Part of it anyway. It's like Vanna White. Here it is. Uh,
Well, I love cats too, so I'm preferential to a cat
I
piece.
love cats too. I have three dogs. I miss having a kitty. So our featured artist this year is Andy Adams. He's based out of North Carolina. He's a 2D mixed media artist, and he works a lot with letters and how that works in our society. So you'll see the letters are filling in a few things, and we have some Easter eggs in our poster. Around the collar is we have a new logo and website coming out for the original fair. So it's the cat collar is our new logo. The fish was one of the first, we had like a Japanese fish, was one of the first logos for the art fair back in 1960. And then we have, of course, Burton Tower and the artist's booths inside of there. So it was just kind of a fun, whimsical piece that we created this year that we're very excited about.
I think his artwork's really interesting, and I like how he creates these letters that just make the image whole, and you're not even necessarily thinking about that they're letters.
Yes, it becomes a pattern. And I
Yeah.
think he talks a lot about that in his artist statement. And then he hid the letters of the art fair inside of there. So just lots of fun in there, as well as just the artistry of all of his work is really special.
Well, and it's always neat to see how the Burton Tower is part of the poster because you never know how it's going to show up.
I know. I was like, after 25 years, I'm like, should we keep the tower there? I guess so. It's kind
You
of our
can't
thing
get rid of it
now.
now.
I
It's got to
know.
be there forever. Karen, do you want to go?
So our featured artist this year is Chuck Wimmer. Chuck is out of Ohio and he is a digital artist. One of the things that people ask in interviews is, what do you like to do at the art fair? What is there to do? And my comment is always, it's some of the best people watching that you will find. So the title of the piece is People Watching, and it's birds on a wire. And they're all very whimsical birds, and they're different expressions. And so that's the piece we went with. It's fun. We tend to go for more whimsical art with our pieces, or try to, and we're really excited about it. There'll be a variety of t-shirts and bags and all of that featuring Chuck, and he will be on South University. So you can stop in and see him, and he'll sign posters and such.
I really liked seeing the poster in person for this, and I felt like I just wanted to keep looking at the birds, but they were like looking at me too. And then I was like, keep Angela's cat away from these birds.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Francis,
So our featured artist this year is Brian Dosler, and he is going to be located in front of the Don Treader bookstore. So he has his booths there. And last year we had a map of Ann Arbor. That was our poster. And this year Brian created the state of Michigan for us. And he has a very unique style. It is dots, and he creates his art with dots. And it was his therapy in healing through his adversity during life. And so he has turned that into his strength and just makes amazing pieces with it.
I know I was watching him at that preview and I was pretty blown away by him. And I noticed that like people had, there was a woman there that had a jacket with his artwork on it. So he
Yeah,
sells like clothing with
yeah,
those. Yeah, it's actually really neat. And I was reading his story about, having that skiing accident and then like becoming an artist afterwards. I was like, wow, what a, lemon out of lemon, like lemon and lemonade kind of
Yes,
thing. Like it,
yes.
like, wow, that like who thinks an accident like that could change your life in such a profound way?
Mhm. Yeah, and again, it goes back to what art can mean to people. It's not just you wake up and you become an artist and you're selling $10,000 pieces of work. It really does can become part of your life in so many different ways.
I will say, I mean, I'm not like I'm an artist, or I don't feel like I'm an artist or anything, but I know that like for my mental health, I like
Hmm.
to create things. And like when
Yeah,
I start creating something and it's something that's a process that takes me weeks or whatever, I can't stop thinking about this thing. And I
yeah.
do think it's just like such a really positive thing that you can do for yourself regardless of your ability.
Yeah, and it's so much better than just going online and buying something.
Oh my gosh. It's not, I will tell you guys a story. I found a window last year that someone threw away, and I was like, I want this window. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I threw it in my basement. And then this spring, I was like, I'm painting this window. And I like rehabbed the whole thing. I put all these flowers on it, which was really weird because you have to paint everything backwards because it's glass. And then my husband helped me light it up, and he gave me an outlet on the wall and everything. It's actually really cool, and it changes colors and stuff. It was like one of the most exciting things I did all year.
That's great. That is wonderful.
So I will say, there's just something so therapeutic about being able to
Mhm.
tap into your creativity.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can buy the merch from these people, right? You usually have merch
Yes,
at the art
yes,
fair.
Yeah.
yeah. And Brian will have his clothing in his booth also. So definitely not just his painting, but also his clothing.
Oh, and those clothing, that's like a showstopper. If you buy one of those pieces, people are going to stop you on the street and talk about it.
I have to say, I love all of our posters this year. And I mean, I always like them and I think they're fantastic. But this year, I didn't know if I got a chance to tell you, Francis, but I was like, I need all of these. I need to own these. And I don't always have that feeling, but I was like, I mean, the birds and the map of Michigan, I'm like, and they all looked so great at the poster launch all together. I was like, oh, this is lovely.
Well,
So
and that's what I think it really was being able to see them in person that really made an impact on me when I saw them. I was like, I get to see digital images of them, but it's not the same as seeing it in person.
yeah. Well, I think there's actually like scientific studies they've done about the visceral response that humans have when they see artwork in person. And if it's like a print of that painting and then seeing the painting and all the different levels of like physical responses that you have. And I know just owning art in my own home, I love that. Like it's always been something that's really important to me and my kiddos. Like when I tell them like, here's a person that had a dream and then they came and they made this piece and then, and here they are now gets to live in the house with you and it like fosters the American dream of like having something you want to do, you're passionate about it, making it and getting it out in the world. So
Yeah. And when you have art from real artists, people talk about it when they come in your house. They notice
Mhm.
it.
mhm. It's true.
What about ways that people can support the art fair as volunteers or anything like that? Do you still need those people?
Oh yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the easiest way is to go to the AnnArborArtFair.com. We have information there about ways to volunteer for each one of the fairs. And it's such a fun thing to do. And we do like raffle prizes and we make it entertaining. So it's a fun way to spend a time. And our volunteers, I know your volunteers, they come back each year because they make friendships and it's just a good time. So
I was going to say, anytime I run into a volunteer at the art fair, they never seem like they're working. They always seem like they're enjoying their time volunteering at the art fair.
good. We try. We work at that to make sure it's a fun time.
Well, we're almost out of time. Before we go, why don't you tell people, each of you, in your own personal reasons, why you feel like people should attend the 2025 Ann Arbor Art Fair?
I think I could go first because I have kind of a different view on it now that I've been away from it for a year and knowing like I did this for 7 years. And then last year I got to go to the art fair as a fair goer. And I can tell you, I don't think I made it as far as, no, I did. I made it to State Street and that was it. I mean, you cannot finish it in one day. So you really need to pace yourself. And I think that the experience of it and seeing the different artists and the variety of it. Like, the pottery on Main Street, the pottery on Liberty, the pottery in North U. It's all different and it speaks differently. And getting that feeling about it, I think is just amazing. I think that the fair really is something you need to come and experience. And if you have some money, you get to buy a piece and bring it home with you. But it really is an experience in life. It's an adventure that you have to have at least once.
I completely agree about like that idea of like going from place to place and seeing even like the same medium and nothing is ever the same. Everything's so different at the art
Mhm.
fair. And you really are like some people will really blow you away because it will be like something that really resonates with you. And some people maybe it's not for you, but it's for the next person behind you. And it's like there's just this wide variety that you can't even imagine if you don't walk through it yourself.
Exactly.
With the three fairs, I think there's this element of always trying to make each other better, right? And so there's that challenge there to, well, what can you do this year? What are you going to do this year? What's going to be fun? What's going to be different? I think the fair is always evolving. I think there's always new and exciting things. The work is, we have new artists. Like we personally have in our fair 100 new artists this year. So it's brand new people who haven't been in the fair before. And we're really excited about that. It's like, come check it out. But then also the programming that we do. And that's where this, challenging each other and growing together, I think is really plays a key role in how we look at the fair, what's important, and how we can always continuously make it better. So I'd like to think that 2025 is going to be one of our best years yet. So you have to come and experience it.
It's so lovely. And I agree with Karen. Like we have a lot of like fun coming up with new things like, oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And it just makes this huge, beautiful, glorious event. I have been coming to the art fair since 1991, and I'm sure you guys probably beat me in that time, but it's watching it evolve and grow over the years is such a joy and seeing the programs that how young people, even one of our artists, Helen Gottlieb, she started out braiding hair on the street and then and then worked way, but now is just one of the most prolific, incredible, nationally known artists and has been doing art fair for, decades now. So it's so lovely to see that. And then the programming, even just as a parent, watching my kid, who's very shy, come to the youth art fair and just blossom. And all of a sudden, I didn't know he was such a little salesman and was out there and talking to everyone and really coming into his own with all of his skills. And so, one thing, when we talk about the art fair kickoffs too, is that Dart for Art helps. That is a bit of a fundraiser for these programs. So if you sign up for Dart for Art, you help these programs. One of the programs I didn't get a chance to talk about is our Ann Arbor Public School program. So we're going to launch a donation initiative where we're going to donate 1,300 backpacks full of art supplies to the Ann Arbor Public Schools art classes, ninth grade through 12th grade in 2026, and that launches now. So all of those things that help kiddos and then young people and then the adults be like, wow, I'm here in this amazing space that we all collaboratively as a whole community put together. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing that I'm really proud of.
Well, you should be. And the collaboration is key. I think that the art fair has gotten so much better since everyone's just collaborated and made it possible to just grow and challenge each other. Well, and I thank you all for everything that you do. It's such a lovely fair and it is a beautiful thing for the city.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dana.
Dana, appreciate it.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching and tune in next time to FYI.